Alright, so this is actually the second time we're recording episode 13, but welcome, guys. I officially hate technology. Um, but let's try to get through this as quickly as possible. I got my lovely. Oh God, that's so bright. Hold on. Got the full-on list going on here. Um, so we're gonna get through this as quickly as possible. Um, First, as always, NASCAR. Connor Mozak won the ARCA race. Lakota is a very big fan of Connor Mozak.
Love
um,
him.
so only trucks and Cup raced this weekend. Um, and it was Chase Purdy for the truck pole. Um, and our boy Corey Heim, and it ended up being Heim time, and Corey won the truck race. The girls got to see him both before and after the truck race. So,
Cutest thing I ever did see.
um, but also that means both me and Lakota's. I picked Corey as my winner. Lakota picked Corey as her long shot. So we got one on the weekend for that race. There was a rain delay for the Cup race, and the girls over at Kansas got good old Harrison Burton with the helps of Mamba Smith out there to sign some of his baby cards. Little like 12-year-old Harrison Burton.
Only stood in the rain for 5 hours waiting for him. No big deal. After the red carpet got canceled, you know. 5 hours of the rain, that ain't nothing to me.
um, but there all the cautions for cause happened in the third stage. Um, and there was one, two, three, four, five of them, I believe. Those are the ones that I noted. Um, the first one was Jimmy Johnson, Austin Hill, and Corey LaJoy. And it ended up taking Jimmy Johnson out of the race. Um, then there was a four wide with Joey Logano on the bottom, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Austin Cindric up next to the wall. And it ended up with Austin into the wall, and he came off the wall and collected both Bubba Wallace and Michael McDowell. And I see Lakota didn't say his name whenever she picked him, but I did. Um, and Harrison Burton ended up essentially being beached. All four tires were down, and he had to be towed back to his pit stall. I just must be like, whenever we try to say that he's gonna do well, it just does the complete opposite or something.
I didn't say he did well the last time, what, in Talladega, and he literally got a top 10. He literally finished 10th.
So like we just need to start saying the opposite, and maybe it'll work. Um, and Joey Logano ended up spinning due to contact with Chase Briscoe. And with 5 laps to go, Kyle Busch spun by himself, sending the race into overtime. Um, and this was most likely the closest finish in NASCAR Cup history. Like, the timing screens literally said 0.000, and Kyle Larson beat Chris Buescher by a splitter. But we also want to point out that the start finish line, half of the start finish line was painted about an inch sooner than the other half of the start finish line. So there's a little controversy going on with that. But ultimately, Kyle Larson was deemed the winner. As for stuff that happened during the week, not Kyle Larson. Teams have been posting their throwback schemes for Darlington. Some of them actually look really sick. I know a lot of the Xfinity ones look really cool, which I'm pretty excited about that. Carson Hocevar's fan vote campaign has started, and he recruited Austin Dillon, Kaz Grala, and Anthony Alfredo. They had no idea that they were doing it for this particular reason. Carson like gave them prompts on he was trying to win a popularity contest in school. But those three ended up doing it. And it came out that Connor Mozak is going to be racing in Xfinity in the 88 car in Chicago and the Charlotte Roval. So at least one of the races that Lakota's going to come and join us. She's going to get to see her boy again. Eric Jones was cleared to race at Darlington. He has won at this track before, so we shall see how he will do with coming back from this injury. He technically, I think he was cleared for Kansas, but I think he decided to wait and make sure that he was back at full health.
Yeah, he was cleared at Kansas, but he said that he would sit out one more race just to make sure everything was clear.
But we'll see how he does. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Got a contract extension at JTD Darty. I'm not too sure.
Darty? I think it's Darty.
Well, see, like the band Daltrey like is spelled similar, so I think it's like Dalter. Oh my god, I can't even say it now.
It's something.
Anyway, he got a contract extension driving the 47. And news that came out actually today, the morning of us pre-filming this, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to be joining the TNT Sports NASCAR broadcast in joining their team in 2025. Oh man, I sped through that 8 minutes. This is gonna be the shortest episode. Rebank. So INDYCAR, which actually kind of helped us out in INDYCAR too, because news came out for Team Penske, but we'll get into that in just a second. First, Teo Pourchaire, former Formula 2 champion, finished his oval test for Arrow McLaren, and so we do believe that he is going to be the driver that they end up putting in the 6 car. So I don't believe they've officially announced him, but for him to be out there testing on the oval, I feel like he's gonna be racing at least more of the races in that car. But so Chevrolet actually launched legal investigation on Penske because they were unaware that this had happened, the push to pass stuff that had happened with Team Penske. They were unaware that happened, so they launched their own investigation, and it ended up with Tim Cindric, head of the IndyCar section at Penske, and 3 other members were suspended for 2 races, including the Indy 500, over the push to pass penalty. So, which, if you guys, I'm actually kind of upset that this like kind of opened the door to Austin being bashed. Like, because I'm seeing all those comments. Austin has nothing to do with the IndyCar side of things. Like, obviously he used to race open wheel, but like he has nothing to do with the current IndyCar team. It's just his dad who is in charge of it. And a lot of people like say that Austin got his cup seat because he is Tim Cindric's son. I got a lot of words on that. Like, I won't get into that. But so that was huge news that came out in the IndyCar side of things. As for Formula One, they raced in Miami. But let's go over some stuff before the actual Grand Prix weekend. McLaren came with lots and lots of upgrades. I can't remember the actual count of what all they brought, but it definitely made a difference. And apparently, Mercedes/Williams applied for Andrea Kimi Antonelli to get his super license before he turns 18 in August. So there are a lot of rumors going around about that. One, I don't think Kimi should be approved for that. Like, one, he's not 18. That's been a set rule since years ago after Max Verstappen joined. But also, if you're gonna deny Colton Herta, who's been driving an IndyCar for years, you won't even let him like get his super license to like those enough points. Why would you give a 17-year-old the points to get his super license or to drive in Formula One? There were lots and lots and lots of celebrities at Miami, which a lot of them went straight from the Miami Grand Prix to the Met Gala. One of those being Lewis Hamilton. And at first I was like, his look at the Met Gala, I was kind of like, that's kind of basic. But he literally deliberately did research and came up with like this whole like idea behind his outfit, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I get it now. I see the vision. So everybody, like, before that, my best friend is a fashion major, and so she's like, I mean, yeah, he looks good, but like the only reason people praise him is because he's the only one in the paddock that really does fashion, so people blow it out of proportion saying he's like fantastic, you know. But she broke it down. She was actually the one that found the explanation behind his outfit. And then she was like, okay, you know what? Maybe he actually did good on this. Maybe he actually does have style. And it has now been confirmed that Adrian Newey is actually leaving Red Bull after finishing with helping with their hypercar design. We don't know if he is leaving F1 for good or where he's going, but hopefully we'll find out in due time. At Imola, Ayrton Senna was being celebrated, just remembering his life as he passed 30 years ago. McLaren and eBay have joined forces, and eBay is now a sponsor of the McLaren F1 team. And quite a bit of fans were disappointed in Ferrari's blue livery. We thought we were gonna get a full blue livery, and it ended up being a single stripe of blue. They could have done something so much cooler, but we got a little stripe. But I guess you can't be Ferrari without the red. So, and Leah Block, who is rally world champion, she's 17 years old. If you don't, we've talked about Leah before, but if you are into motorsports, you definitely know her dad, Ken Block. And she, Leah, is trying to become the first female F1 driver in this decade. Obviously, there has been some in the past, but that hasn't been, I believe, since the 80s and earlier. So she's trying to become the first modern female F1 driver. And something that kind of baffled me, the U.S. Congress, I believe it's 4 members of U.S. Congress wrote a letter to the owners of F1 and asked for a reason of why did Andretti's bid to join the grid get denied. I saw somebody explain that on Twitter, or not Twitter, TikTok, and we're talking about like the U.S. Congress could potentially declare war on the owners of F1 and essentially force Andretti into the grid. I don't know if that is actually possible, but that would be kind of hilarious. And so we had I can't remember if we said this last podcast, but we had rumors about Max supposedly meeting with Mercedes after Miami. Toto Wolff immediately shut those rumors down. And denies having a meeting with Max Verstappen. And Adrian Newey heard the comment that Lewis Hamilton said about being flattered, that he would love to work with Adrian Newey. And Adrian was flattered by that comment. About wanting him at Ferrari. Chloe Chambers in F1 Academy. Why did I say Formula One Academy? It's bro, my brain is working way too fast for my mouth. In F1 Academy, Chloe Chambers got a podium, and she is the Haas driver. So technically, Haas got a podium in their home race. Because of her. And Bianca Bustamante, F1 Academy driver for McLaren, got a podium as well. And it was her first podium of the season. And then she ended up getting to see Lando's. Oh, that's a spoiler. Whoops. Later that day, we'll get to it. Abby Pulling ended up winning both F1 Academy races at Miami. And a little fun thing, so we know Charles Leclerc has a little puppy named Leo. Leo got his own VIP pass for the weekend. It literally has his picture and name on it. How can a dog get a VIP pass but not me? Oh, but it was very adorable. He was chasing Charles around the paddock. As for the race weekends, in FP1, Max was fastest. Go figure, Red Bull's always gonna be fast. I feel like that's a given. And the only thing really notable was Charles spun in coming out of turn 16, and he tried to like fishtail his car to get him back around the right way, and he just ended up parking it in the middle of the track. And he had to get out of the car and let the marshals get his car out of the way. And it was kind of funny. An unfortunate circumstance because it was a free practice session. But as for sprint qualifying, Max ended up getting pole, but the story of sprint qualifying was Lando Norris had the fastest lap, and it came in the second session. It was a 1.27, a minute and 27 seconds, and it was the 0.5, I think, and it was the fastest. It was faster than the SQ3 times. So if he would have had that lap in SQ3, he would have gotten sprint pole. And he probably, we're about to talk about that actually. Because what happened in the sprint, if he was starting on pole, this would not have happened to him. So what happened in the sprint, lap 1, turn 1, Lewis Hamilton goes down the inside, ends up hitting both of the Aston Martins. It's a chain reaction, and the Aston Martin on the outside goes straight into Lando. And Lando ends up DNFing out of the race because of that. And he ended up receiving a $50,000 fine for entering the track on foot. And also due to that contact, Lance Stroll ended up DNFing as well, and Alonso ended up with a puncture. Alex Albon had to start the sprint from the pit lane. And I don't know how many seconds it ended up being, but Kevin Magnussen got either 20 or 25 seconds worth of penalties in the sprint. And he comes out of the weekend with 2 penalty points, meaning he has had 10 penalty points in the last 12 months. And he's very close to risking a 1-race ban. And there's actually, I think him and Logan both have 10 points. And so there are a couple drivers that are risking that 1-race ban. Valtteri Bottas had a 3-place grid penalty for the sprint due to impeding Oscar during the qualifying. Actually, before the sprint even started, Esteban Ocon hit Charles in the pit lane and had to replace the front wing of the car. And he ended up getting a 10-second penalty for that. Lewis Hamilton got 20 seconds post-race because he was speeding in the pit lane. And our boy Daniel Ricciardo came home P4 in the sprint. And obviously Max, as always, well, not as always now, won the sprint. Charles came in second, and then Checo finished out the podium. As for the Grand Prix, Checo had major lockup going into turn 1 on lap 1. Luckily, he didn't hit anybody. Like, he just went straight across. Could have swore he was going to take out like 3 cars. Max ended up hitting the cone in turn 15 in the chicane. There was no damage. He said in the post-race press conference, he was just like, I didn't like the cone, so I took it out. So, like, you know, Max is funny. Like, people do not give him enough credit. And Alex Albon ended up getting a 10-second penalty due to leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Oh, also, on top of him getting that penalty, I think it's turn God, what is that? Turn 11, I think it was. He completely missed the turn and went straight on. So he was just having a not so good day. But on top of that, it was not a good day in general for Williams. Because on lap 29, Logan crashed, due to Kevin Magnussen, hitting him. To be fair, like, I feel like it's more on K-Mag. It should have been a little bit on Logan because he should have been aware how close Kevin was to him. But where Logan was placed on the track, I feel like K-Mag should have backed out of that, because he knew that something was going to happen. But unfortunately, it did end Logan's day. I'm upset. You take out the one American driver in his literally home race. It's kind of annoying. It ended up being a full safety car, for that. And the safety car ended up picking up Max instead of Lando because Lando was in the pits in the lead. And so people find a little bit of controversy in that because they're like, Max would have passed him if the safety car didn't slow Max down. Which, okay, fair. Okay, you can argue that. But Max was having issues with his car, and there's a very big possibility that Lando would have passed him anyway. Lando might not have won by 7.5 seconds, but I still feel like Lando would have been able to get past Max if that situation would have happened. And Kevin Magnussen got a 10-second penalty because of the contact between him and Logan. But ultimately, Lando Norris got his maiden Grand Prix win at Miami. So proud of him. I almost started crying. Lando, like, Max and Lando are like neck and neck on my favorite driver list for Formula One. I'm very proud of him, but also very sad that I missed it, not being there. But after he got out of the car, Max was clapping for him as they drove around the track. And there were so many of the drivers that came to congratulate Lando as soon as they got out of their cars. Like, even general F1 fans, like, if you're not a Lando fan, you still celebrated Lando getting his first win. Because it's been a long time coming. Lando deserves it. Like, he's been trying so hard. He's been so close so many times. But it was just so great to see everyone congratulating him and celebrating him. He had a really fun time at a nightclub in Miami. Max was there. Oscar was there. Apparently Lando was there. Or not Lando, sorry, Logan. Apparently Logan was there. They were having a fun time. And the people at the nightclub...
They were pretty much all there.
I think the majority of them did go.
There was a picture, and Pierre was there, too.
Like, so they were holding up a sign at this nightclub, right? And it was like a congratulations sign. But it said Landon instead of Lando. Congratulations, yeah. Landon. I guess Landon is Lando's American persona now. For
sure.
But with Lando winning, that means both mine and Lakota's picks were correct. Which, the way that we did it, I think we originally said that we were picking second and third place, because we genuinely thought that Max was going to win the entire thing. But so we just excluded him from the picks, but we still technically did a winner and long shot. But if we go by the second and third places, Molly picked the third place on the podium correct, with Charles. So we all won. Okay, we all won on that one. But ultimately, I feel like they had a fun time in Miami. And in the post race press conference, Lando was like, "Man, I wish I would have gotten my first win at Silverstone." Then Max interrupted him and goes, "Dude, mate, you're in Miami. This is a good place to get your first win. We're." And then at that party, everybody, Max, black t-shirt, black backwards hat. Everybody's calling him frat boy Max. Okay? Like, oh my gosh, I wish I was in Miami. I would have shown up to that. I would have been like, oh, I would have had a fun time. I don't drink, but I would have had a fun time. But that was the weekend. We move on to this weekend. We got all three NASCAR series at Darlington for Throwback Weekend. And then we also have INDYCAR, who is running the Indy Road Course. And you guys actually wrote down your NASCAR picks, didn't you? Or at least did Molly do it? Oh crap! It caught the other recording. It caught our INDYCAR ones, so I have those written down from the other recording, but I don't have the NASCAR ones. You guys remember what you picked?
I know my cup ones.
I remember my cup and I remember
I
my
know.
Indy
I know.
winner.
I know for trucks, we all picked Kyle Busch as the winner because that's pretty much a given.
Okay.
Yeah, for trucks,
So,
we all picked Kyle Busch, and then my long shot was Taylor.
Okay, yes, I do remember that one. My long shot was Ben Rhodes.
could not tell
Wait,
you.
did you go Corey again? Was that who it was? I think. What did you go Corey?
I don't know. I feel like it's either gonna be Christian or Corey, but I don't think I picked either one of them.
Like I'm trying to, cause I know you didn't pick Tanner. I know that for a fact.
Nope. I don't know.
Do you just want to pick a new one?
I mean, I guess I'll pick a new one because I genuinely have no idea. Oh, hang on. Maybe if I think I remember who I picked, but
Are you are you rethinking your pick?
no, I'm looking at the list because maybe it'll help me remember who I freaking picked. Did I pick? I picked Raja.
Okay. Yep, that's what it was. Okay.
I picked Raja.
All right. So
I remember my Xfinity. I had to look at the list too.
what?
I remember I picked Bailey as the winner, and then Carson as the long shot.
Yes, Carson Quapple.
Mm-hmm.
I said Justin Allgaier is my winner, and then William Byron as my long shot. Just because I feel like he might end up just wiping the entire field. So like I feel like he's a safe bet.
I don't remember.
You said Jesse Love for one of them.
Winner, and I said Jesse as my winner and Riley as my long shot.
Okay. All right.
That's what it was. I remember my cup picks right off the bat.
I remember those.
What?
Because I picked Noah as my winner and then Briscoe as a long shot.
I picked Blaney as my winner and then Ty as my long shot.
And then see, I feel like mine are just completely left field of you guys because I ended up going Alex Bowman as my winner and Daniel Suarez as my long shot. because I originally I originally said, oh, maybe Eric Jones, but I didn't know if he was gonna be back to like full capabilities. So I think I ended up going those two instead.
We have a mixture of everybody. We have a Hendrick, it's Stuart Haas, a freaking Joe Gibbs Racing, and freaking Penske.
And a track house.
And a track house.
So we're representing 6 different teams.
Did we cover every single freaking racing team?
Hold on, let me just throw. Wait, we gotta get.
We didn't get Spire.
You said a what?
We didn't get Spire.
I was about to say we didn't get Spire. We didn't get
RFK. For truck.
Oh
no,
yeah,
for truck I picked Raja.
Yeah.
I got Spire covered.
You're just mentioning the Cup series part.
Oh well, I mean, if we're going based off of all of this series, we have a Spire. We have an RCR car.
So we don't have an RFK. We don't have.
That's fine.
I was about to say we don't have a Rick Ware Racing. as if they, actually Justin Haley could luck into a good position.
I mean, he's been running decently.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's been getting some like top 20s, top 15s. So he's been working at it for sure. And then I'm gonna. So we don't have to. Fun fact: we don't have to do the outro or anything. Because I still have that clip. It started recording again right before we did our. Actually, I think it picked up you guys. If it didn't get mine, I went with Scott Dixon and Alex Pillow, but I know for sure it got you guys's, but I can't remember if it got mine. So,
that's good because I remember who I picked.
You did Scott McLaughlin and Pato.
Yeah, that's about right.
I don't remember mine either.
And then Molly, you did Will Power and Scott Dixon. So those are our IndyCar picks, for the Indy Road Course. But we're gonna look a little different, like because we're wearing different clothes. Actually, Molly, you might not be wearing. I mean, I'm wearing the same hoodie, but Lakota definitely for sure is not wearing what she was wearing yesterday.
I went from Noah to Harrison.
But yeah, so you'll see this next clip might look a little different, but but there's their picks. Up your background. Okay.
So cute.
Okay. So who are you guys saying for IndyCar?
I'll say Scott McLaughlin as my winner. And we'll say Pato as my long shot, I guess.
Okay.
I'll go Will Power as my winner. I'll go Scott Dixon as my long shot.
All right. We'll see how. We shall see how our picks turn out after the weekends. Hopefully we ring in another one. Both me and Lakota were 2 for 3 this past weekend.
Yeah.
Technically, basically how I saw it whenever we did our picks last week, we kind of excluded Max because we just thought that he was gonna win.
I mean, true facts. It's not a lie.
But technically, we did choose the winner and long shot, but like you kind of did them as like first and second on the podium. But wait, Molly, who did you choose? What position did you put Charles in?
You put him as your long shot, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Then so technically Molly got one too. Molly got third place, right?
technically we're like, I don't even know. We're technically in F1 we'd be 3 for 3 because you and I did the same, and Molly actually picked the third place.
Yeah.
So technically we're 3 for 3 in F1. Actually, technically, I don't even know.
So,
That was
we'll see how our picks turn out, because like we said, me and Lakota got the truck race pick correct. Because I chose Corey as my winner, and then you chose Corey as your long shot.
Yeah.
So, so we'll see how it all turns out for Throwback Weekend, and for Indy. Obviously not the 500. The 500 is 2 weeks away. 3 weeks away? 3 weeks away, I think. Bro, I don't know. I can't count. Sorry, I'm numbers dyslexic.
Well, me too, especially when it comes to numbers. I forget everything about numbers. I mix numbers around.
But all right. I think that's it for us, guys. This has been the 13th episode of the Trackside Girls podcast, season 2. Are we ready, guys?
No, wait. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.
I think Lakota's got a new one this time. Oh, not a new one. It just won't come out of the box.
Don't be difficult. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Alright, guys. It goes peace, love, and race cars. Alright. Good night, everybody.
Peace.